Okay, so in this video we're taking a look at the Mobius Maxi 4K action camera, actually more like a dash cam. And this was a camera that I was not planning to take a look at until recently. There was a new firmware update, version 2.0.6.2 that just came out a few weeks ago, and it now enables GYROflow support. So a couple of my patrons asked me to grab this and at least do a GYROflow related review on this, and that's pretty much all I'm going to cover in this video. And I'm pretty sure I released this video early to my Patreon, so yeah, if you guys want to see videos like this early, head over to my Patreon and sign up over there, and I do release some videos early for my Patreons, and then eventually later they'll come out for the rest of the channel. But yeah, this video is just going to cover the GYROflow aspects of this camera. So when I first got the camera, the original firmware that was on here did not support GYROflow, did not save any gyro data to the SD card. I had to update to the new 2.0.6.2. Pretty standard update procedure. You get the firmware file and you put it on the SD card, turn on the camera, wait for the lights to stop blinking, it turns off, and then if everything went well, you now have the new firmware. Was only mainly interested in how the GYROflow worked in 4K 30. I did not test 1080p. It does have 1080p that goes like I think 30, 60, and 120 frames per second, although I don't know which ones of those are GYROflow supported. It's because at this price point, I'm not really interested in this as a 1080p camera. I'm more interested in this as a 4K camera. And it only does 4K 30. The bitrate's around 60 megabits, so it's okay. I mean, the image quality at 4K is decent. It's not exceptional. There's no color profiles. There isn't anything, as far as I know, in terms of the settings, in terms of what you can change, like white balance, color saturation, that kind of stuff. I think you can kind of dig into those. There are some tools that let you do that, but it's not straightforward. It's like there's no app that you can connect to this. Although it does have Wi-Fi support, it doesn't have an official app. I think you have to use some kind of third party. I didn't test that. You have to use like a some kind of tool, which I didn't feel like it was that terribly intuitive to use, but you can change your settings that way. Basically the image quality and the default settings is good, not amazing. There's definitely a lot of other cameras out there that have a lot more flexibility and definitely looks better. The lens on here is the standard lens A. This is what it came with. 150-degree field of view, pretty standard run-of-the-mill compared to a lot of other action cameras out there. The aspect ratio of the video is only 16:9. There's no 4:3 available, so obviously this is a 16:9 sensor, so it's a kind of a squished image. And so when you manipulate it in GYROflow, it only has so much room to sort of zoom in and stabilize the image. And sometimes when there's when you're doing a lot of like hard turns, it zooms in quite a bit using kind of the default settings in GYROflow. So at this resolution, when you're zooming in 50% or more, the image quality does degrade a bit in some of those hard turns. Something to be aware of. That's one of the disadvantages of having a 16:9 sensor versus a 4:3 sensor. And the price point of this comes in, I think around $100, $99. Not a lot of places sell this. Banggood sells it in a couple other places. Don't think like any of the US stores carry this. And the question is, how does this compare to the Runcam 5 Orange, which I already did a GYROflow video on? And I'd say like the image quality on the Runcam is a little bit better. It does have the 4:3 sensor, so you have better field of view in terms of the stabilization. The Runcam 5 Orange has its own issues with basically the video getting out of sync with the gyro data because of either duplicated frames or dropped frames or a combination of both. That happens with this particular camera, and I think it's a firmware problem that they haven't fixed yet, because it's just basically with the writing of the gyro data to the SD card along with all the rest of the processing that goes on in this camera, the processor that's in here is probably working way too hard, and they haven't optimized the software to sort of get rid of those problems of drop frames or duplicated frames. So image quality is definitely, I think, better than the Mobius. The stabilization, GYROflow, is slightly better. You can look at the results. I'll link the Runcam 5 Orange video in the description. You can look at those results, those stabilization results. I mean, there's still some micro jitters in that. Although I've heard that there's a lot of things you can do to improve that. There's a lot of work that you have to do. I'm not even going to get into that because, in my opinion, that's too much work. It's just not really worth it, and not really worth the time to get into in terms of making a tutorial. There's probably some stuff out there on RC groups that you could probably find if you want to do all the extra work to get better results out of this camera. Now, I think that when it comes to the Mobius, we're looking at kind of some similar results here. There's a lot of jitters still. I think it's enhanced by the fact that it's a 16:9 sensor and zooming in a lot, so those jitters show up more. I haven't noticed those kind of problems with the drop frames or the duplicated frames on this camera. But yeah, I think this is also another issue with maybe this is I just need to find a better way to mount this on a drone. So I created like a 3D print here to sort of help with that, and because I originally just had it hard mounted and there was just too much vibration coming through. This helped. The 3D print did help, I think, and the results that you're going to see here. There's no ND filters for this one as well, so you have to customize some ND filters. That might help with a little bit of the jello problems. So, the verdict here is, I think you're going to have to judge for yourself which one you like better. I would say look at the video footage from this and look at the video footage from the other video for the Runcam 5 Orange. These are about the same price, so I think it's a sort of like a good comparison as to which one you think is going to work better for you. I think it kind of depends on the person. Some people are going to like the Runcam better, and some people might like the Mobius better. So I'm not going to make any proclamations as to one being the best or better than the other one. It really kind of depends. You got to look at it yourself and make that judgment for yourself, because there's pros and cons when you're watching the video for each, and you'll have to sort of judge for yourself which ones look better to you and which ones, in terms of the sort of the shortcomings, which ones you're willing to live with. So just really quickly here, this is the weight of the Mobius, coming at about 51.5 grams. This is the Runcam 5 Orange with the ND filter on, and it's a little bit heavier, 57 grams. The ND filter is like about a gram, I think. So the Runcam 5 Orange is a little bit heavier, but obviously this form factor, the cube form factor, is much more drone friendly. It's the same form factor as the Runcam or the GoPro Session 5. So there's gonna be a lot of mounts for this. There's not any mounts for this guy here. This might not be the best for FPV drones. I think those of you guys that maybe fly bigger airplanes will probably like this form factor better. Now, of course, you're gonna have to find a way to mount it. I've seen some other videos of this camera using GYROflow, and they seem to get better results than me, and I think it's mostly because of the drone vibrations on quads versus like airplanes. The vibrations you get on airplanes are a little bit different. They're more like low frequency versus the high frequency vibrations you get on drones. So I think that's affecting the gyro data that's coming out of here for GYROflow, because I have seen some better results out of this camera from other videos, but possibly they might be recording in 1080p. So, but again, I'm not interested in this camera as a 1080p camera because there's so many 4K cameras coming out that have GYROflow capabilities. There's that Firefly, the X-Lite, and then actually I'm going to be getting the version 2 of that's on the way. So if you're looking for, again, another camera in this sort of price range, those are a little bit more expensive. Like that one's about $150. So yeah, again, that's probably a step up in terms of cost compared to these two. And then I'm also getting the other Hawkeye split version 4 with the GYROflow support as well. I think that one's going to be cheaper. I think that one's actually cheaper than these two. It's like coming in around the $85, $90 price point, I believe. So that'll be coming out in a future video as well. So yeah, there's going to be more options coming out here.
So, you know, I'm not like making any proclamations about either one of these cameras, because to be honest, I'm not really happy with either one of them. So I'm kind of waiting and seeing if there's other things that are coming out that are going to be better. I'm more hopeful that the the new Firefly X-Lite V2, that one looks like it's got the most potential, because they did an upgraded processor in that, as well as a new sensor. And well, I won't let all the cats out of the bag in this video. You'll have to wait for that one whenever I get that. I haven't gotten it yet, so the video might be a while. So hang in there. More videos coming. Here's the footage for the Mobius. You know, check it out. Let me know what you guys think of this and how it compares to the Runcam 5 Orange. Which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments below. That's going to do it for this one. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.